everybody. I am Louisa and this is my paper studio. It has been a long time since I've recorded a video or really been too active in the online community, but it's the beginning of the year, and every year, even though I haven't been sharing it, I still do memory keeping. I love it. It is really fun to look back on. I really started, I would say, in 2020 to get really formal or consistent with it, and I've loved it since. I've tried a lot of different formats, and I've always had a thing or two I wanted to tweak or change, and I'm super excited because I feel like I'm getting there. So yeah, just wanted to share this the different journey with you all. So this is a preview of what I'm going to be using for 2026. But before we go here, I want to share with you kind of one of the reasons why I love memory keeping. So this one, I don't even know that I have it labeled. It's 2021. This is one of the formats that I was using. I have these templates. It has some week prompts, and then it has dot grid in the middle, and then it has areas where I was stamping the month and kind of highlighting what week it was. I also went in and at times added some pattern paper, definitely a lot of stickers, some fun additions, even some flip throughs and everything. This was a lot of fun. At the time, I only had my baby girl, and I guess this was happening. I will say I went back and decorated a lot of it. I made this myself with just a simple cinch metal binding, and then I sort of did the months, and then you can tell that I fell off after July, and that's it. That's all there is to that. It was very time intensive. So next, I want to share with you guys my 2020, which is the one that I really use to stay consistent. I was following the Project Life memory keeping type of format, and I had all of these pages. I have so many of these plastic pages. I didn't love this. I love how it looks, and I love some of the parts of it, but I feel like it ended up taking me so much longer to make a page because I would have to cut up the 4x6s or the 3x4s, and even if I had already pre-cut them, I would end up wanting to do my own thing with them, and of course as a scrapbooker, kind of decorate my own way, which ended up taking even longer. And then in addition to that, I had to be very specific with making sure the pictures would be cut at a 3x4 type of ratio. And I use my own photo printer at home, which is an 8.5 by 11 type of print. Of course, you can add photo paper, but that's so much more expensive, and it wasn't working for me. And so this is a good idea. I just wanted to share. It's really fun, especially if you love memory keeping from a pocket perspective. Then I wanted to share this one. This one's a binding that I did. I liked it because it allows me to insert more pages. I got these smaller bind rings online. I was doing all kinds of stamping. I was using some Cocoa Daisy kits and doing my own embossing and kind of just doing my own thing. And I really love this because every week I was able to do my own kind of stamping for the weeks, and that was a lot of fun. This is just a quarter though. This is July, August, and September. And then there's this other album which has its own girth. Again, very similar to the other one. This one, I just use a simple cinch binding. You can tell though that I'm getting a little, that I get a little tired at times. This is some of the Cocoa Daisy kits, but I still was trying to do some stamping and definitely the printing of the pictures. At this point, I had my baby boy, and so life was a lot busier. So sometimes it was fun, other times it was hard to keep up with the different decorations. Of course, we try. But then you can tell December, I'm kind of I'm kind of over it. I'm struggling a bit in the struggle bus. And then the last week of December, there's just nothing. And then I have also tried the Heidi Swap albums. They're okay for me. I like because everything is preset for the week. And so you don't have to do, the only stamping you have to do is on the numbers. I like it because you can add pictures and you can do your own thing too, but it just wasn't for me either. The stamping and then putting, it had such a specific daily format, and I don't take pictures every day of the week. Actually, most of my pictures come on the weekends when I'm with the kids. So that was another attempt. And then this is the last of 2023, and you can tell, again, I was trying to use the same format. I didn't do the dot grid this time because I was trying to be a little bit more open with myself and allow myself some other stamping opportunities. But still, for the most part, kept up with it. Some fun stamping here and there. And I also did this bullet journal type where this was a lot of fun. I love the entrance of this this album. And then I did a bio, and I did some fun pages like week in the life and day in the life, and then like the different recipes we were following and wine that we were drinking. This was the beginning of 2023, so I was really excited. Again, look at the bullet journal. It's a lot more open because, I mean, it's just a notebook, and then I was just adding items in here. I still follow kind of the same idea of using the borders and then the middle for most of the pictures. But then every so often I just change it around too, which that was a lot of fun. The issue is that this one is super intensive because it obviously is just blank pages, and then you have to design them each week. But again, I was really, really trying to get this through. And I'm just proud of myself that I kept going and that I put something together. Don't love that it's not as decorated. There were some weeks that it was just really hard to get into it. But I really did try. So if you're interested in any of these templates, I will have them available on my Etsy shop for download. These are going to be really, really simple. I think it's just one PDF, like 2 PDF pages, and you just basically print. And I do try to set up my printables so that they're completely easy. You just put the pages on an 8.5 by 11, print file A. Then if there's any flipping for the other opposite page, you just flip it around and then you print file B, and then you're good to go. So these will be available because they're still kind of useful. However, I'm really excited to be going into this level of format. For one thing, it's smaller. It is half a page of an 8.5 by 11. It's similar to an A5, I would say. But then also it's very intentional. So it has everything pre-written in space so that I can very quickly jot down some notes of the week. But then just this empty space. So if I'm not feeling the decorating, I can just put the grid of pictures that I've printed. Like I said, I do 8.5 by 11 printing. Let me try to show you. So I can do something like this. Obviously, I would cut it up so that it could fit in one page, but I can just paste it, and then I don't even have to decorate it. But if I do want to decorate it, I can add some flips and do other things and be so much more intentional and special with the decorations, and then even stamps on this side or stamps here. There's just a lot more flexibility. I love it because I preset all of the months already, and I have them perfectly aligned where you have a month page, then you have some area for journaling or for more pictures, but then it goes straight into the weeks of the month, which is a lot of fun. And each section I've put 5 pages of weeks because I don't want to, there's some months that have 5, other months that have 4, and that way I can kind of work with that. This is the notebook that I'm going to be using for 2026, and I'm super excited. It is kind of a difficult thing to print because you have to, because it's a half a page, you have to know where to set the month and then what is going to go on the back. I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but it happens to me whenever I'm trying to create like booklets, that if you do the 8.5 printing, you don't know, like, is this one goes first, and then do I cut it in the middle, and where do I bind it? I bind here. So I made myself all these little guides and all these little templates, and I was trying to figure out which one I was going to go with eventually. And then that's when I realized I really wanted to set something up, because it still was so painful for me. You can see that I ended up printing extra pages that I'm not going to use with different with different fronts and backs, because I was trying to figure it out. So that's where I'm really excited that I'm going to be adding to my Etsy shop. It's a template that is just easy set up for you. You just download it. It'll tell you exactly print 50 pages of file A, PDF A, and then flip on your printer and print 50 pages of file B, and then you're good to go. You're done. You cut them in the middle, and then you're just ready to bind. That is simple. I want to take off all of the time that it took me and all of the extra printing and pages, and I didn't have enough of this flip or the other. That's when I really want to set up in a simple way. So if you're interested, I'm going to put the link on my bio, the link on the caption of this video, and I hope you guys like it.